and a pretty little cottage was put up next door for Sophie. The BFG's house was to have a special dream storing room with hundreds of shelves in it, where he could put his beloved bottles. What is more, he was given the title of the Royal Dream Blower. He was allowed to go galloping off to any place in England on any night of the year to blow his splendid fizz wizard in, throw the windows to sleeping children, and letters poured into his house by the million from children begging him to pay them a visit. Meanwhile, tourists from all over the globe came flocking to gaze down in wonder at the 9 horrendous man-eating giants in the great pit. They came especially at feeding time, when the snooze-cumbers were being thrown down to them by the keeper, and it was a pleasure to listen to the howls and growls of horror coming from the pit, as the giants began to chew upon the filthiest tasting vegetable on earth. There was only one disaster. 3 silly men, who had drunk too much beer for lunch, decided to climb over the high fence surrounding the pit, and of course they fell in. There were yells of delight from the giants below, followed by the crunching of the bones. The head keeper immediately put up a big notice of the fence saying, "It is forbidden to feed the giants." And after that there was no more disasters. The BFG expressed a wish to learn how to speak properly, and Sophie herself, who loved him as she would a father, volunteered to give him lessons every day. She even taught him how to spell and to write sentences, and he turned out to be a splendid, intelligent pupil. In his spare time he read books. He became a tremendous reader. He read all of the Charles Dickens, whom he no longer called Dolls' Chickens, and all of Shakespeare, and literally thousands of other books. He also started to write essays about his own past life. When Sophie read some of them, she said, "These are all very good, I think. Perhaps one day you could become a real writer." "Oh, I would love that!" cried the BFG. "Do you think I could?" "I know you could," Sophie said. "Why don't you try it by writing a book about you and me?" "Very well," the BFG said. "I'll give it a try." And so he did. He worked hard on it, and in the end he completed it. Rather shyly he showed it to the Queen. The Queen read it aloud at her grandchildren. Then the Queen said, "I think we ought to get this book printed properly and published so that other children can read it." This was arranged, but because the BFG was a very modest giant, he wouldn't put his own name on it. He used somebody else's name instead. But where, you might ask, is the book that the BFG wrote? It's right here. You just finished reading it. The end. I hope you enjoyed it.